Hey y'all! Alright, I felt guided to do a video today. So I'm here in Venice Beach, the border of Venice Beach and Culver City. I want to do a little guided tour of a very interesting area and talk about some things. Like I mentioned in other videos, this is kind of a cluster F in that I'm just kind of iterating stuff until I figure out what I want this channel to be. And something came to mind. I'm inspired by a YouTube channel that I follow called, there's a homeless guy by the way. He's not a human shield, incidentally, nor is he a military man. His name is Sloan, and his channel focuses on Hollywood, and he does like really good work, actually, like deep dives. Here they're doing some construction. I had a run-in with this guy. They're like really paranoid. I don't know why. Maybe because I have a white car? I don't think it's because I'm a white male. I mean, it's part of it. I think it's what they're into. 7-Eleven. Nice deal with 7-Eleven. Anyway, Venice Beach. Here we are. So let's turn around. You get the picture. Anyway, he does like, Sloan does blind items on people. Like, he's doing one, I don't want to do any name dropping, but really big people. And he's really good at it, and I like his stuff. Mine, it would be more like deep dives into movies because I'm a screenwriter and a filmmaker, and I went to film school, and I know a lot about film history and that type of thing, theory and whatnot. So I want to talk about a few things here, but incidentally, this video opened. You see that? We're going to get to all this. You see that RV there? Now I want to be clear about something. I have compassion for this guy. I don't have any personal problem whatsoever with this guy. But we got to talk about something there, but I'm going to get to that. The movie Catch-22 came out in 1970. And if you know about this, if you've seen the movie, it's a little review. If not, I'll give you a little information so you know. It'll be clear what I mean by this and why I'm bringing this up. So stay tuned. All right, so that white car you just saw is my car. So Catch-22 was based on a novel by Joseph Heller. It's an anti-war novel set during World War II. I read the novel when I was in high school. I saw the movie. I'm a big fan of both. And I think this movie is really underrated because the novel is very complex. It's a complex narrative, and the message of it is very complex. And to be honest, the reason I think that movie is so underrated is because, look, there's Chick-fil-A. They got great French fries, Chick-fil-A. By the way, I love their French fries. You bet. So underrated because I don't think anybody could have not just made a better movie of that book, but made a better literary adaptation in general. I was about to say adaptation. And I think part of it was that the things that needed to be cut from the novel, as great as they were, there was some really funny stuff that was cut from the novel and characters, but they got the point across with that. So now let's do a little bit more. Yeah, so as I was saying before, this is Venice Beach. I don't know if you can see that. Do you see that? No part here. I think it's over here too. I'm going to show you something. This is all connected, by the way, what we're talking about here. Okay, so that says no parking from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m., okay? We clear about that? That's all down this block. And so the reason for that is understandable. Full disclosure, I'm a van dweller myself. It's not long-term. I do want to purchase a home one day, and I think the key to that for me is first of all, cleaning up my finances, and I would say I'm about 80% there. My credit score has jumped dramatically over the past several months, and that was not easy. I had to really cut back on a lot of things. So they don't have an overnight parking ban in LA. They have that in Pasadena and some of the surrounding suburbs. I'm going to get into that in another video. I'm also a law student, by the way. Let me stay focused, though, because I think this is important. The reason I live in my van is partly by choice. I could technically qualify for some kind of subsidized housing, but I don't want to, because here's the thing. I don't want to rent. And I don't want to buy shares in a municipal corporation. And I don't want to get involved with a co-op, a community co-op. That's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in actually owning property, in investing in property, in building my wealth. And you can't do that in blue state America. That's where I'm with just the hardcore right on that, absolutely. And, I mean, they're right, in other words. I'm going to go into that. I think my perspective matters since I have a degree in finance and I'm very good at math. I know what I'm talking about, but I also have a real world perspective on a lot of things. So I'm a van dweller by choice. Let me turn around here. I think we got the point here, right? Part of the reason they have this overnight parking ban, that's what that means. They don't want people sleeping back here. There's a kind of a rowdy bar. I mean, this whole area is rowdy. But there's a rowdy bar. And it's they don't want people sleeping back here, I think, probably for their own protection, which is understandable. Because, you know, I mean, people like fall asleep on the wheel and, you know, DUIs, and the police probably know, or whoever writes their laws probably know, hey, I mean, he wasn't in the bar, I don't want to go in there. But the good ones know that. The good ones, meaning the ones I would call the Scotland Yard crowd, which are few and far between here in LA. Something also I'm going to get to in another video. The history of the Chicago Police Department and the history of the LAPD are vastly, vastly different. But let's stay focused here. So in Catch-22, something I wanted to focus on in this video is very interesting, the history of that movie. I believe this was an article in Entertainment Weekly I read. And I don't remember the name of the actor who was in this scene with Orson Welles, where Orson Welles played General Dreedle. And if you remember Orson Welles, if you don't, I'll tell you a little about it. He was very theatrical. He was a Shakespearean actor. He was the guy who was in Citizen Kane, if you've ever seen stills from that movie. Very commanding presence. And at that time, he was very rotund. And he was a great actor, by the way. But it was always stuck with me about this. Because it was a very funny scene where he was this kind of clueless general who just felt like he could shoot people at will if he felt like it, right? And the guy, Austin Pendleton was the guy's name, the other actor, who they interviewed him. He played his son-in-law in this. Sorry, not doing too much name dropping here, but this is important. We got to get to this. Uh-oh, are they coming to get me? Do this real quick. Okay. So Austin Pendleton said he hated working with Orson Welles because Orson Welles was destroying the comedy that Mike Nichols, the director, was trying to set up. And that always stuck with me because didn't make sense because it was a very funny scene. I really liked it. But now I realize, reading between the lines, there's stuff in that movie in the background behind the scenes that indicates a hidden meaning to that, which I'm going to get to in a second. But, okay, we're back. I want to show you guys something. And stay with me here. Okay, so here's my van. As you can see, I don't know if you can tell, the tags are current. Go ahead and look up my plates. I don't care. As you can see, probably need a car wash. I gotta fix that. But look at it. Probably a month ago I had a car wash here. See, I maintain it, right? I'm not creating a nuisance. In fact, let me even show you this. If you look at this, I have to... These are the daytime running lights up here. And responded to this very quickly. I had to do a quick fix and reorder this assembly. It's taped with wire and masking tape, which is not a permanent electrical tape behind there to keep that light bulb in place, which is not a long-term solution, but I'm going to order the parts. So as you can see, I responded to that problem very quickly and didn't let this get out of control for decades, right? So I ask you, am I creating a nuisance? It pretty much is yes or no. You know what? If you want me to turn that into an essay question, happy to do so. You explain why, but then consider, there's the guy over there. Remember the guy who opened this video? All right, so let's keep going here. And again, let's go this way. Yeah, this feels right. Hang on.